Yes, yes, people. The Premier League pressure is starting to show for some clubs. Arteta losing his marbles. Liverpool as well, dropping points on a shock result today against Luton. I don't think any of us guys on the panel thought that was going to happen. But each one of these boys has a dream, and that dream is to see their team lift the Premier League trophy at the end of the season. Today we are joined by Matt, aka the Southern Gooner. We're joined by Joey, big City fan from the Noisy Pod, and Jacob from United Spurs of America. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Hopefully you're all well. Lots to talk about, man. And for me, Matt, I'm sorry, mate. I think we're going to have to start with you, bro, and your team, Arsenal. Going to a tough place, let's be real. But the meltdown that I have seen from some of your fan base and your manager as well, I've got a question, bro. Well, what's your sort of take on, first of all, the result? And what's sort of gone on since then? Because it's you're now Statement Football Club, Statement FC.
LB, it's good to be here with you, Jacob, as well, and Joey, good to be on the panel. Gentlemen, that was an absolute disgrace yesterday. What made it even worse was the fact that Arsenal fans are still living in a state of delusion. And it's delusion that we're actually challenging City for a title. I mean, you look at the run of form we've been on. It's the exact run of form we finished the season with last year. Scuffling to score goals. We're looking for the referee to bail us out. The manager's devoid of tactics. The only difference is he spent big time money on Kai Havertz and Jorginho. Declan Rice is in the team, and it's pretty much still the same exact thing. Then we get to the end of the game yesterday. This was the best part because I was getting ready to do my fan cam with Lee. And as I was waiting on him, I saw Mikel's post-match press conference pop up. And so I decided to take a listen. Let me hear what he has to say for himself. And for him to go into that press conference, gentlemen, and to hide, he literally hid behind the veil of an inept performance. An inept performance. Let this sink in, gentlemen. We've played 2 full games of football this week. LB, I want you to watch this when I say this. 4 shots on goal in 2 football games. 2 top flight.
Yeah, but Matt, you have more control of matches now. You have more control of games. This is the thing. You have more control. You don't concede as many goals now. This is the thing. This is why you're going to win the league, bro.
Who's striking? Because Nketiah's not in the room.
Nketiah's not in the room.
Striker's out of gas. Martinelli's looking shot out. The problem here is we've got a delusional fan base that just refuse to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that Mikel Arteta is not the man who y'all think he is. I've seen this. Gunners preached it. Everybody else has been preaching this. And when people finally step back to look at this thing, we're not challenging for that title this year.
I think so.
We had a chance this week, gentlemen, to do something in a cup. Both of y'all, City's out of it. What did y'all? Oh, well, it's City's Cup. They've won it 4 or 5 years running. It's City's Cup. Well, they're going home. Y'all are getting ready for a Club World Cup. Y'all are getting ready for another trophy, which is probably going to be 4 this year, the calendar year. And we had a chance to win this Carabao Cup. But what did they tell us this week? What did y'all hear? What did you see all over YouTube this week? You saw everybody saying, oh, man, nobody's worried about that Mickey Mouse Cup, man. Because we're focused on the league. And if you ain't down with that, you can go support Spurs. That's what I heard all week. Arteta has the master plan. He has the key. He has the Dead Sea Scrolls. He's gonna get us to where we need to be. Yesterday, all I saw was Arsenal players getting up off the canvas. It was just like George Foreman and what's his name? I can't think of his name. Down goes Frazier. George Foreman and Joe Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes every time I look up. Down goes an Arsenal player. Down goes an Arsenal player. I'm 42 years old. I've grown up watching football pretty much my entire life. I told Gunner yesterday after we went off. I said, that's no different than what we what we grew up watching back in the day. Men getting popped and getting pushed around, it was a physical game. What I found out, what we see that game has shown us from yesterday is that Arsenal are weak. They're weak. They're weak mentally. They're frail. We've got players that are not built for this league. Odegaard, he practiced on Wednesday. He's gone. The manager's hiding him, trying to protect him. I mean, Newcastle. I don't know if anybody saw anybody had a chance to see my video this morning, but I showed you. I went right there and I showed you why Newcastle is doing what they're doing. Eddie Howe stepped back after getting fired from Bournemouth. He stepped away, and then he's over in Spain learning the dark arts from Simeone himself. Mm. So what did you see in the game yesterday? You saw all of it on display. All of the dark arts. Meanwhile, our manager sits at the top last year, 200 plus days, loses the title. He comes out with a statement that someone says, I thought about giving it up. Why would you say that?
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think your club's got issues, bro.
I'm going to tell you this, brother. I'm going to tell you this. The reason the manager came out and said that is because deep down in his soul, he knows that's far as he can get the team, is what we saw last year. That's far as he can go. Mm. And the problem with that is this season, he's just trying to whatever can stick to the wall. Look at what happened in the first game of the season. Thomas Partey playing right back. What planet did you get one of the best center DMs last season? They say he was up there with the best in the world, and then let's play him at right back. See how that works out. And had he not got injured before that, he'd still been playing right back. Zinchenko, he said, "I'm not good at defense. We'll play defense anyway." Well, Odegaard. Man, he scored 15 goals last year. Yeah, but do you really think he's going to score 15 goals again? He didn't do it the 2 years before that. He didn't do it at Madrid.
So, bro, let me ask you a question, though. Why is it that why are you saying that Arteta's not going to do it, but you've got a load of gooners saying that what are they seeing that you're not seeing, man? Why am I getting a load of Arsenal fans telling me that this is the year that Arsenal win the league, but you're saying it's not? What are they seeing that you're not seeing, or what are you seeing that they're not seeing, man?
I'm seeing the truth.
You're seeing the truth.
I'm seeing the truth. I saw the manager. The man had no experience. I know he sat on y'all bench. I know he set the cones out. I know he made sure the towels were warm. I know he made sure that everybody had their boots lined up in order. I know that he made sure that the jerseys were hanging up on the lockers. I made sure that the ice bath was prepared after the game. I know that. He has no experience. He had no experience coming here for a club of our stature. No. I mean, what? I mean, the man was not prepared. He should have been over at Dagenham Red. He should have been over there at Bath. He should have been over there at Plymouth. He should have been over there at MK Dons. That's where he should have started. See, when you play a man like Grisman, exactly. Queen's Park Rangers, Pompey. You look at Eddie Howe, gentlemen. You look at Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe brought Bournemouth all the way from the bottom to the top. This is why they're still in the Premier League. He has a track record. The way that some of our fans disrespected Newcastle this week. Oh, man, I saw people 3-1, 4 this, 2 that, 5 that. And I'm looking like, excuse me? Nketiah scored 5-6 goals in 30-plus games? Where the goals coming from? Where are the goals coming from? Soccer. He's out of game. Where the goals coming from? The only reason we beat Sevilla a couple weeks ago was because we had a flash of greatness from Jesus. He's not around. Look at the other night, West Ham. Look at that in their performance. We have sat right here, and what has happened is this fan base is latched on to Mikel Arteta because he used to play for the club, and he's the best Spaniard we know. All of this tripe they keep putting out there, fellas. And the reality of the situation is we're not as good as we think we are. Some of our fan base thinks we are better than what we are. And I don't know what they've been watching. I mean, I have folks telling me, LB, they were inboxing me telling me, what are you looking at? That was Kyle Havertz's best game. If it just takes for a man to slide tackle somebody for that to be the best game, then damn it, we in major trouble.
Yeah. No, I think you're in trouble. Jacob, let me bring you in, man. You're a Spurs fan. You must be enjoying this bit of a passionate rant here from Matt. Arsenal played 2 games this week. They've released more statements than wins. What's your take on this meltdown from Arteta? What's your take on this statement? You know what I mean? Because is that showing weak mentality, or are Arsenal right to be aggrieved, bro? Because listen, I just tell you quickly, I think the whole thing's embarrassing, man. That's my view on the statement. What's your view?
I could see it a few different ways. First off, thank you for having me. It's very nice to meet Matt, Joey, LB. Nice to see you again. The first question you asked was, am I enjoying the passionate rant? And no, because he's talking sense and he's saying things that I have said. And it's like, wow, I don't know where I'm gonna. Normally when I share the screen with Arsenal fans, I try to, make little pokes here and there and little slide jabs where I can, just keep the rivalry fun. And I don't know. I'm listening to everything he's saying. I'm like, there's no holes to poke in that. I mean, everything he's saying is pretty spot on. I've thought Arteta was in over his head for quite some time now, 4 years into a process. And to me, refereeing decisions, this is just my personal opinion on my view on this sport and every sport, is referees. We know one constant with referees, officials in any sport is they're going to get things wrong. So with that knowing, you shouldn't allow a referee to either win you a match or B, lose you a match. And nor should you give credit or blame to a referee or the officiating. That's just my opinion, because that is a given that they're going to mess something up. You're going to face that. Every club does. But it's just interesting when clubs decide, oh, now I will speak up. Earlier we saw it with Klopp. And what did Arteta say there? Oh, well, we have to, the officials, they're going to, get things wrong, and they're trying to control the match, and they're trying their hardest, and we have to support the decisions they make. Less than a month later, he's flip-flopping on that. And this isn't the first time the man's flip-flopped publicly on things. And I'm just like, I've always said, as a rival, naturally my eyes will tell me he's a fraud. But when the proof is in the gravy, as I like to say, and when he puts the gravy on the taters, I'm like, this guy is a fraud. The mentality starts at the top down. And look, a lot of Arsenal fans don't like me because I just share my opinion, and hey, it could be wrong, could be right, I don't know. But all I know is what I'm seeing is 4 years into a process, and I'm still struggling to figure out where his second and third marquee signing fit into this squad. I don't think Kai Havertz even has a dedicated position. It's kind of up for grabs. No one really knows. It's like, I just don't know. But look, that's neither here nor there. I just think when it comes to the statement, like you were asking, LB, that's the club backing the manager and what he's claiming and saying. Now, I start by saying that with what Arteta said, I think is embarrassing. The way he handled himself in the press conference was embarrassing. Everything I'm waking up and seeing this morning in America, I'm like, this is fun. This is some good content, and I like what I'm reading. And I think if I was an Arsenal fan, I would much rather prefer my manager just say, you know what, this is that, this is this, and we'll move on. Instead, this is a disgrace. I'm embarrassed to be a part of it. Bro's going over the top over what many would say a 50-50 call is. And whether you think is right or wrong, like I said in the beginning, refs are going to get decisions wrong, and just as many as they're going to get right. And I think now it's just he saw Klopp cry about it, so now I think he wanted to give a little cry about it, and that's okay. We all can let emotions out from time to time. I think as men we should be allowed to do that, but as a manager, you should just reserve that for the locker room or at home with the missus, not in front of a camera. I was about to drag Pochettino into it, but let me just save that. I'm not going to drag him into it.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm with you, man. I think it's the difference is with the Klopp one, of course, is that was a fundamental incorrect call. But as you said, Matt, what's your take on it?
I think, quite frankly, man, I don't give a damn about the VAR call. Right, I really don't care, because the fact of the matter is we had one shot on goal for a full game. One shot. They're acting as if that impacted us on us scoring as opposed to Newcastle. That's the way they're acting. Oh man, this VAR, this game. I've got the screenshot sitting here. I could pull the screenshot up right now and show you 7 players were watching that ball before it came in. 7 players was watching that. The goalkeeper was out of order. Every fullback was out of order. The Declan Rice, all of this, 7, 8, including the goalkeeper. 3 Newcastle players was in the box. The referee, I can show you the referee. He was already looking over in that direction. People are going this, oh man, Gabriel got fouled. He was trying to head the ball before he went down. Arsenal fans are looking for every excuse to hide behind failure. Hide behind failure. Let me ask you this. What happens if we tie that game yesterday? Do you think we'll hear about that call? No. You know what you'd hear? We fought back. We fought the good fight. Arteta is the man. Arsenal, we're coming. We're hunting down the hunted. You hear all that kind of stupid stuff. But the reality of the situation is this. We did not execute at any facet going forward yesterday. That was someone that I told Gunnar and Ola during the broadcast yesterday. That performance looked worse than Wednesday. Worse. Dude,
and that's what he rested the players for, right? That's why you put out that squad versus West Ham.
Jacob, just like they said, brother, they said we were supposed to be going for this Premier League title.
Well, yeah, you spend all that money, you better, you know.
We have bigger fish to fry. That's what we heard. That's what I heard. Bigger fish to fry. The club.
If I show up to the cookout, they say I got bigger fish to fry. I'm asking where the hell's the fish at because I ain't seen it yet.
Joy has a bigger fish behind his left shoulder.
Shout out Harry.
Look at that fish.
Yeah, I see that back there.
Right there. But you look forward, and you see we have nothing. We have nothing going forward in the attack. We look like a toothless lion running around South Africa somewhere. Nothing. Whose fault is that? Arteta went to the grocery store this summer. He bought the groceries. We needed a striker. We've needed a striker for years. We had to replace the Aubameyang.
But Kai Havertz plays a false 9 for Germany. Surely he could come in and be your...
We hadn't replaced the striker for years.
Bring back Marwan Shamak, man. No, you know what I mean? That's a real...
Shamak scored against Bayern Munich. I'll take Shamak. But no, in all seriousness, when you look at that signing of Kai Havertz, look at the money that was spent. Where it could have been spent? Madison. You could have got 2 or 3, 4 players. Yeah. I sat here all year last year. Madison, Salcedo, Tielemans. We could have just all across the line.
Tielemans was a free transfer as
well.
You're
gonna drop 70 in January for Tony.
Yeah. They turn around. They turn around in January when we were still in the thick of the title race. I said we need to get Declan Rice and Salcedo. Oh well, Matt, we can't get 2. Why not? You're trying to win a title. You're trying to win a title. And I've been telling people this. People think I'm crazy. I'm going to show y'all what's going to happen. And in January, a lot of us are going to get our feelings hurt. Manchester City is going to start retooling because they're quote unquote rebuilding. They're going to go retool. They're going to start preparing for the future. They'll either buy the player. They're going to either buy the player in January. We'll see him next year, or he's going to stay at the parent club. Or they're going to go ahead and buy two or three players that's going to come right in right away to show this thing up. And then that's going to be all she wrote. And it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 points behind looking at the table. Then they'll be talking about, well, let's qualify for the Champions League. They'll change the narrative. This fan base they cannot handle self-reflection. The title of my show this morning was The Best Ability is Accountability. And we do not do it. And we're sitting there, and that manager yesterday, for him to sit there and say that was, this was ridiculous, this was rough, when last year, when we played Liverpool and we got out of jail in that game, and there was nothing said. I think it was Liverpool. No, it was nothing said. There was nothing said. But then when it goes against us, now all of a sudden, the VAR is out of control. Everything's wrong. Hey, news flash to all Arsenal fans, all my fellow Arsenal fans. News flash. The refereeing in England sucks, period, across all levels. So you knew this already. We knew this. There was a reason why they said, no, we're not going to have referees at the World Cup from England for a while. No, y'all have to sort that out. Because we already know this. We know this, but the problem is our fan base, they love to fight a battle. Make these battles with people. Oh, if you say something about the manager, oh, no. You say anything about Odegaard, oh, no. God forbid you say something about Zinchenko. Oh, no. The problem is this fan base is deluded. We have the most deluded fan base in the Premier League. And I'm firm in standing and saying that. I've seen it for my own. I'm in the trenches. I'm there. I get the message.
I can, yeah, bro. We're hearing the pain, man. We're hearing the pain.
LB, I see it firsthand. When people look up, you look at the money.
Joey, man.
You look at the money. $700 million.
Yeah, dude. Tell them.
$700 million. And then they're saying we need another transfer window. But damn it, man, we need to get a window business. Because every time you look, we go into the window. We go into the window. We need to get Windex and start wiping. Because every time we look up, we go into the window. Then you sit up and say, well, the Kroenkes aren't backing the team. That's the other one you hear. The Kroenkes are not backing. Well, hell, man, you got $700 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all three of my American compatriots here tell you. They'll tell you one thing about Americans. And this is why I tell folks, Arteta's on thin ice. They just don't know it yet. I'm going to show you something. When it comes to our American owners and their money, after a while, they'll put up with it. But they're going to start looking at that ledger. And they're going to say, damn, man, that's $750 million going the wrong way. What the hell is going on? We hadn't won anything. And then that's when finally the heat's going to get on. This is why you see what Arteta did yesterday. He immediately took the game that was directed toward, because most folks know, anybody with a footballing brain knows who that game was on yesterday. He immediately took the blame off of him and threw it over to the referee so he could deflect all of what was coming towards him. Notice that none of the pundits said really challenged anything about it. They were going on about VAR. You know, oh, man, VAR. But they didn't say anything about the performance. They didn't say anything about that was a bleed-over performance from Wednesday. And then here we are, the same thing. And guess what? Newsflash, we're going to have the same thing on Wednesday when Sevilla show up. Because they're going to look at this. You think Ramos and them ain't looked at that game and said, oh, man, well, we know what we need to do next time. And guess what? Like I told y'all earlier, Gabby is not here to bail us out. He's not here. We don't have anybody in this team that can score a goal. Eddie Nketiah is not the man. I keep telling y'all, the man is making £100,000 a week to do nothing. £300,000 LB for your boy Havertz.
I was told that's Thierry Henry's region, though.
No.
That's weird. That's weird how that works.
I saw Jacob. No, it was Kaká actually, mate.
That's
true.
what it was.
Yeah.
He needs to be sold. He needs to be sold and moved on. I'll take $10 million for him, 5, 8, 9, 10, whatever you can get for him. Get him out the door. I don't care. Get Havertz out of there. Send him over to Jerusalem FC. Get him out of here. Get Jorginho out of here. Get him over there to the Fenerbahce. Get these guys out this club. Get these bums out of here. We've got bums. We got bums from the top all the way down, gentlemen.
Man, I hope you guys are doing okay. You know,
I'm sorry, brother. I'm just frustrated. I'm just frustrated, man. I am frustrated because we have been people. We have a batch of fans that keep propagating that we are actually headed places and we are going nowhere fast.
That's not new though. You know, like that's been like the AFTV thing is kind of based around that. That's been going on for 10 years. You know? Like even when Wenger was in charge, it was just delusional fans that were like, oh, we're going to do this and do that. And, oh, fucking just wait. This guy's going to come in and we're going to be, and no, it never happens. You're right, Matt. There's a mentality issue there, brother. But there's a serious, you knew it last year.
Yeah.
You knew it last year when Zinchenko knew what he did. When they panned to Zinchenko, he's crying on the bench. He's crying on the bench because he knows what's about to happen. Arsenal can't hold City off. And he knew it last year. And that mentality hasn't changed. The manager hasn't changed. He hasn't, I don't know, injected anything into that squad to give them fight. You know,
Hey.
things turn south. They drop their heads, and then after the match, you just stand in front of a camera with a bunch of sponsors behind you and bitch about VAR or it's the refs or it's this or it's that. Nah, man. You've got a problem inside. Something stinks.
Hey, let me tell you. I'm gonna ask LB and Joey. I'm gonna come y'all way right quick. Let me ask y'all a question. What did you hear going into the Charity Shield game? What did y'all hear? What did y'all hear about that game? What was the consensus from most Arsenal fans?
That don't care about the trophy, maybe.
Yeah.
The Charity Shield. What were they saying? We played y'all and we beat y'all. Oh man, we've caught them. We've done it. We've caught them.
Oh, they closed the gap.
We closed the gap. We've closed the gap. Yeah, this is it. We must win. It's a must win. We've got to get it today. We've got to get it right now. That's what you heard. But when it came to the Carabao Cup, oh man, we don't need that, man. We don't need that cup. We beat City this year. Oh, what a deflection. A damn deflection. A last minute deflection. That probably would have, if he moved out of the way, that ball is caught. We sitting here talking about a draw. And we further down the table. That's the reality. We don't look at the reality of the situation. And this is why Arsenal fans, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. If anybody know about it, I know about it firsthand. Joey will tell you. Joey and Jacob will tell you. When it comes to them damn Braves, I know about it. They look like you're going somewhere, but you're not going anywhere. It looks like you're doing something. Our team has been anemic all year long, gentlemen. All year long, we've been getting bailed out. It's been a draw, these scratch draws, we hanging on for dear life. And this is why now all of a sudden it's hitting hard. And what's going to happen is, we've got a couple of games. I've already heard people saying we'll make these games up in a couple of weeks. And I'm just like, how do y'all expect that these teams will just roll over knowing that we can't score? And then when we do beat teams, we beat the lowest of the low, like Sheffield, 5-0. Oh man, we back. For what? What? Back to what? Back to the same old. That's basically our level right now. Is that we're competing with the lowest of the low.
Well, let me come in on that. Let me come in on that, Matt, because for me, I'd say something, and this is not like me trying to banter or anything. This is my just personal opinion, and people can disagree. I got to say this. I've watched Arsenal a lot this year, and none of the games I've watched, I thought Arsenal played particularly well. The only games that I think Arsenal played well in, apparently was Bournemouth, but I didn't watch it. But Bournemouth play football. PSV play football. And I think you can give them some credit against City. But I think that the way that City set up, it would have been hard for Arsenal not to have played well. I watched every other single game. I actually think you've got worse since last season.
I agree.
I'm more scared of Arsenal last year than this year. And I don't know, Joey, you're obviously a City fan. What do you agree with that as a sort of like title contender in Arsenal? Do you think they got worse? Because I hear the thing about, but Arsenal controlling the game more and they're harder to beat. I agree, but that's not what made Arsenal special last year if they were special. What made Arsenal special last year was that every time they went forward, they looked like they were going to score. Now they don't go forward. And I'm like, these guys don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I think they, I'm not as worried about them this year as I was last year. That's for sure. I think they fell into the trap that United's fallen into over the past few years where they went out, they knew they needed to spend money. Yeah. So they're like, okay, well, we've got to improve the squad. But what they did instead of, and we talked about it on our show recently, you've got a lot of clubs that buy names instead of buying profiles, right? The reason that City are who we are right now, yes, Erling Haaland is a name, but he also fit a profile. It was a young, big, strong, physical goal scorer. We needed one. We went and got one. We also needed somebody that was more creative, maybe a little bit shifty, young. So we went and got Julian Alvarez. Profiles. Julian Alvarez could have gone anywhere, right? But it's not a big, sexy name. Arsenal went and got Declan Rice. Were we in for him? Yeah. But we set a price tag. We weren't going to go above it. So they signed Declan Rice. They signed Kai Havertz, which is just, it's a name, but it's a guy that seems to fail up his entire career. He was shit at Chelsea. He's been worse at Arsenal. I don't get it. Kaká's probably onto something. The position that Havertz should play doesn't exist anymore. So unless Arteta wants to reinvent the wheel and figure out a way to make an old school 10 a thing in today's game, ain't going to happen. But I don't see it with them. There's a big mentality issue there. And Arsenal are doing this weird thing where they bought this summer like it was going to be, and maybe, I don't know if Matt will agree or disagree, but they bought this summer like it was a rebuild, instead of buying players to kind of enhance what they have, right? They bought players like they were rebuilding already. And it's like, well, no, you just lost the league. You led the season. You led the league all season long. You lost it by just a hair. You don't need to do this thing that you shake up everything inside the squad. And instead, that's exactly what they did. They bring in Declan Rice, and like, love him or hate him, Partey kind of had that spot on lock, right? Well, you bring in Rice, and now there's a thing in the team of like, all right, well, you spent all this money on this guy. Clearly, he's brought in to replace me. Then Partey's playing it right back. The fuck is that about? You got like Ben White and Tomiyasu are supposed to be like the best right backs you have somehow now, when I'd say that was maybe a hole you could have filled with somebody else. I just, a lot like a lot of other clubs, it just doesn't seem like there is a plan for their transfer business. And I think that's what shot him in the foot. Like, you've got a manager that's doing his damnedest. He's probably in over his head. Then they're just spending money and bringing in players that aren't getting the job done. Well, now it does fall on him. Like at City, it kind of gets, it gets deflected a little bit, Like if we have a bad transfer, it's not like, oh, Pep, like, what are you doing? Why'd you sign this guy? It's cheeky. Why'd you go sign this guy? I couldn't tell you who that is at Arsenal. Is Ivan Gazzini's still there? Like, I have no idea.
It is Arteta, bro. It's 100% Arteta.
Yeah.
No one went to Arteta and went, guess what? I've got you a midfielder, Mikel. And Mikel's like, oh, fucking buzzing. Who is it? You know what I mean? Is it Bellingham? Is it Musiala? Is it Florian Wirtz? He's gone, nah, fucking Kai Havertz. And he's gone, fuck off. It's not April 1st. He's like, nah, being serious. He's like, oh, you got him on a free transfer, did you? Squad? No, I paid money for him. All right, what, 10 million, 15 million? 65 M's they dropped on him. And this is the problem. I wouldn't have minded if they spent 15, 20 million on him, because it's a gamble, right? And if it works out, it works out. 65 million when James Maddison is sat there at 40 million quid.
Government name.
Ostensibly, we got him at 35 because we sent Harry Winks the other way for 10. So,
but 35 plus change, they could have got James Maddison 35 million and still had 30 million to spend on someone else.
They told me Odegaard was better than James Maddison. They didn't need him. That's what I was told in the summer.
LB, how much did Doku cost y'all?
I think it was like 45.
40, I think. Yeah.
Wasn't Akanji like 50? No, not Akanji.
Akanji was nothing, man.
Ake was like 15 from Bournemouth, wasn't he?
No, he was a lot. Ake was 50.
He was
a big one.
Akanji was
still worth it.
Worth it for sure.
Kudus was pennies on the dollar. I mean, just look.
Ederson was no money, and you guys had a keeper and then brought in David Raya.
I want to pose a question. Why is it that Arsenal got to always go buy Chelsea shit? Why do we have to go down to the bargain bin? We have to go all the way down to the bargain bin. We going down to Smiley's flea market.
That's what I was going to ask you. How you get fleeced by your crosstown neighbor for Jorginho? How much did you spend for Jorginho in January?
I think it was 30 million or something along that line.
So you've spent 100 M to Chelsea. You essentially gave them Caicedo money so you could get Jorginho and Kai Havertz. And then United came in to make sure they could get the signing bonus done for free because they went and got Mason Mount. To me, Arteta's moving like a Ten Hag.
Jacob.
Go ahead.
The hair is just so much better, though,
I said it this summer. I had Jez on the channel. I had Ola. We were all on the panel. And I said, Arsenal funds everybody's transfers across the world. We paid for Salcedo. Hell, we gave y'all the down payment for Holland with Gabriel
and Zinchenko. So thank you for that.
And Zinchenko.
We appreciate you.
Paid for that. We paid for them ass whoopings from Holland. We paid for that.
You are the Rothschilds, isn't it? You know, they're the people.
Yeah, true.
You are the people that own it.
when it comes to us, we'll take whatever falls to the ground. Anything, we'll just take anything, any crumbs that fall.
I
We
got
go out
Brazil's
and
number 9 if you want it.
we get the sorry stuff. No, y'all can keep him. No,
Yeah. Any guy that's getting a tattoo of himself next to his heroes on his back.
No.
That's his
massive
Mount
red
Rushmore.
flag.
That's his Mount Rushmore.
my girlfriend is Brazilian, and I was down there. We were watching the game, and no, they don't even like the guy now. So I'm telling you that, no. So I just when you look at these transfer dealings, and you look at the players, like you said, Joey, you nailed it right on the head. We just got out of a competition. The first thing I'm thinking about is what elevates us to the next level. I don't care if it's a loan, whatever superstar is available that can help us get to the next level. I'm bringing them in because that's what we need to compete. We've got to go to the next level. That's what Liverpool with Brendan Rodgers, they say, okay, thank you for getting us here, Brendan. We appreciate you, man. You can go right on up to Celtic, do your thing there. We bring in a man that can get the job done. It took about half a season, and bang, there you go. Bang, there you go. He fixed it up, sorted it up, and then that's it. But with us, we go right over to the penny pinchers, and we go get the cheap, the what we don't need. $35 million on Fabio Vieira. Lee Gunner is bigger than Fabio Vieira. Lee Gunner is bigger than Fabio Vieira. Then you go over, you double down, 35 on what's the player, man? We got another one we spent money on. Zinchenko is another one. I mean, just look at the money we throwing out. 28, 35, 40, 50, just big time money. You get Timber in, you get him injured. Now you can't use him. Soccer, redo deal. You got Odegaard, 5-year deals. These crazy deals. Hadn't even proved anything. Oh, he's the cat. Let's give him 5 years. Let's get Reece Nielsen to renew. Let's give El Nene a new contract. They don't play him.
Bring Pepe back, honestly.
I just told Tony Clark Gunner earlier. I was talking to Tony on the show with him. I just told him, I said, he scored yesterday. Pepe scored yesterday. Look how he did him. Arteta, he uses players. And then if he don't like you, you out. If he does not like you or you bow down to him, you're out of there.
That sounds like Ten Hag.
Look at my man Marquinhos. He was supposed to come for free. We paid for him. I mean, what's going on here? The transfer. This is what goes back to what I said when I first went on that rant earlier. $700 million. They have backed this man to high heaven. Arsene Wenger never saw that kind of backing. Never. True. Could you think of the play? If we'd had $700 million, man, we'd been competing with United. We ripping them up.
It would be interesting to have seen Arsene Wenger spend this $700 million and see what he would have done with it, wouldn't it? It would have been interesting.
He would have pulled a bunch of players out of nowhere that no one's ever heard of, and they would have all been studs. Like every single one of them would have been a baller.
Yeah, I mean, you look at you just see the breakdown in the team. Is that when we get an injury? I told Gunnar a couple weeks ago on a show. I said, if we have a place, I think this was when Partey was in that we had a full team. For the first time we had like a full team. I said, if anybody gets injured, we're back to square one. If the player that comes back from injury gets injured and somebody else leaves, we back to square one. I said all year it's gonna be that way because we don't have a solid team. We don't have adequate replacements. Look at this goalkeeper. Let me throw a stat out y'all way. Do y'all realize we had 6 goalkeepers in 4 years? Do y'all realize that? 6 goalkeepers in 4 years. You want me to call them off? Leno, Martinez, Runnison, Turner, Ramsdale, Rhea.
How you let Martinez go?
Yeah, just think about
that. Just won a World Cup. That Martinez.
Yeah, that Martinez.
That's a tough go.
Guess who we let him go for? Ramsdale.
Sick.
And we paid Ramsdale top dollar only to bring in Rhea this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a loan deal, so at least you didn't spend top dollar yet.
Jacob, it doesn't matter. We should have went out there and bought the best that was available. That's the problem with Arsenal. It goes back to what Joey said. We don't upgrade our team. We should be buying the best available. If Oblak is available for $75 million, I want him. I want the best available.
I think someone said it here earlier that y'all are buying names rather than profiles, and honestly, like that to me is very vital to a team's success or their failures. If you, like City, build a profile, an ethos, a philosophy, and guess what? The academy plays the same way as the first team. Well, guess what? In about 4 years, you're going to have your Rico Lewis's, your Cole Palmers, your kids from the academy that are used to playing these positions in these systems. And I think that that is something that has held Tottenham back when we got up there, competed, and then we fell off. Because why? We didn't have any sustainability up there. We didn't have what it takes. And this is why I think, I'm going to address like a lot here. With City, when you look at, people, they're starting off slower than they did last year, this, that, and that. Look, City's going to do what City's going to do. They're going to win when they want to win. They're going to dictate how the league shapes when they want to do that. And that's just the reality of it, because it's not a team that wins the league or challenges for the league. It's a squad. It is a club that is all behind the same message. So a little bit, LB, the question you asked early on, which was, what do I make of Arsenal's statement coming out? To me, I'm going to give them some props. You're backing your manager publicly. You're backing him with an official statement. So that to me shows that they're at least diluted or not. They're at least saying, hey, we're backing our guy, whether he's right or wrong. And to me, I think that's commendable and respectable. But the problems that Matt's laid out for the last 40 minutes, honestly, those are all things that I would say. Those are all things that I would use to say, this is why I don't think Arsenal can challenge, when in fact, a lot of the fans have told me, not you, Matt, but a lot of Arsenal fans have told me, we can challenge. We should challenge. I agree. You should challenge. You came in second last year, and then you put 105 on one player, 65 on another player. You should be challenging with that sort of monetary investment. Now, maybe that's just me not realizing the prices of things. I mean, obviously, we spent 60 on Richarlison, and we barely get the man to shoot the ball with his feet and score. So, prices are kind of crazy these days. But, I just see Arsenal. I'm enjoying it. I want Arteta to stay forever because I think he's a fraud, and the longer he continues to run the ship, and the thing is, I think not a lot, but the owners here, and this is a little bit of me stepping outside of my own comfort zone, speaking about another club's ownership, but seeing the way that they're operating, it reminds me of how Chelsea was successful years ago, which is, well, what are the problems? What's the biggest name? Splash the cash, boom, get it done, get it over the line, get him in. And then let's see if it works. And that's the problem. You can't let's see if it works. You got to have a profile. No, this profile fits in this system or not. Not, this guy can. So for me, a little bit, I think there's a lot of people to blame. And when it comes to Arsenal, I say tears roll downhill. So if your owners are crying, your manager's going to be crying. When your manager's crying, your player's going to be crying. That's why I call him Boohoo Saka. I just think the mindset from the mentality bleeds downwards. And if you're looking up saying, well, my boss is crying about VAR, then on the pitch, what you're going to see is a bunch of people crying about VAR. You need to get your head in the game and quit worrying about the ref and the technology and the cameras. You need to just worry about playing the best ball that you can, because at the end of the day, if you're supposed to be a title challenger, you got to go to St. James Park and get at least a point.
I agree.
Yeah, you got going there. Everybody in the league knows that that's one of the hardest places to play in. Is St. James's Park, and you already know Arsenal can't play in the rain, so we already know that's a recipe for disaster.
It's too far north.
Yeah, it's too far north, and it's too long of a ride for them. So you already know you got to try to get something coming out of that, and for them to go there with that performance yesterday, one shot is that's madness, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, guys, keep your comments coming in the chat about what we've been speaking about. Make sure you drop a like on the stream as well. Make sure you are subscribed to all three of these guys' channels. Link is in the description. Joey, I'll just speak about Liverpool. Obviously, we'll touch on Spurs at the end, but Liverpool probably was up there in the conversation about a team that could potentially win the league. They drew today away at Luton. Do Liverpool have what it takes to win the league? Do they have the squad? Do they, can they do it?
I don't think so. We talked about it on our show, months ago now. We had our preseason, like our season preview. I didn't have Liverpool. I think I might have had them third or fourth, something like that. There's a lot of depth issues there. in midfield. You know, they brought in Dominic, whatever his name is, the Hungarian fella. They've got Alexis McAllister. They got Ryan Gravenberch in on loan from Munich, but I think McAllister being out of position isn't great. You know, they use him as a 6 a lot. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me. You go from Fabinho to that. It's a weird move. Gravenberch, I think, could be good, but he struggled at Bayern. He goes to Liverpool. I think he's been all right, but he's not lighting the world on fire. Zaboslai, I want to say. It's pretty damn close. Decent, but I don't know if that's the game changer you wanted. It seems like everything else they do, they just buy wingers or false nines. That's kind of their thing. You know, Gakpo, Nunez, Jota, Luis Diaz. They buy a bunch of guys to try to replace Sadio Mane. And I mean, ultimately they sold the wrong guy. They sold Salah. I mean, they sold Mane instead of getting rid of Salah. I think keeping Mane would have been the move, at least for a few years. The back line,
you
Van
would
Dijk's
have
not
sold Salah. You would have sold Salah
at
Why?
the time.
The money. You would have sold him because of the money, or
Yeah, and I think Mane made them tick more than Salah does.
I would disagree with that. Actually, I think this season, a lot of their success, Liverpool speaking, a lot of their success has come from Mohamed Salah either creating a goal or going on to scoring it himself. Now, when we look at today, I thought, yeah, he was pretty woeful today. He dropped a stinker. And you know when else he dropped a stinker, at least fantasy Premier League's concerned, was against Tottenham Hotspur. I'd just like to say that because I think Mohamed Salah is the best right winger in the league, arguably in Europe, on his day. So I would disagree in the fact that I think both of them were absolutely critical to their success. And so I think you take either one of them out and you'll see what you're seeing right now. I think they're both equally. I just think Salah's got too much talent. So does Sadio Mane. So it is a little bit like, do you like peanut butter or you like jelly? Well, technically I like them both together most. But if you had to pick one or the other, I guess it's just, preference of taste, I think.
I'm just looking at finances a few years ago when it happened. I think they could have gotten more for Salah. I think Mane provided more in terms of goals and assists, and just the system itself. I think a lot of it revolved around Mane. But either way, I think Liverpool have bigger problems than that. Van Dijk's not the guy that he was a few years ago. You know, he's getting older. He had the knee thing. Not great. Joe Gomez. What's the fucking point? Trent, they don't know where to play him. You know, Klopp tried to do this thing where he was a copycat of Pep and tried to play Trent as like a midfielder for a little bit. I don't know if that's sustainable long term. I just don't think they've got depth and quality, because you go outside of Gakpo, Diaz, and you're getting into Harvey Elliott and Wataru Endo, Joel Matip. You know, Thiago's never healthy. Like, it just...
Is he still there, Thiago?
He is, yes. This is going to come as a shock to you, LB. He is currently out with an injury.
Yeah, I thought he was sold, man, or something. I've not seen him all season, man.
No. They're another one that just have a weird... They've got a weird transfer policy. You know, a lot of that comes from...
McAllister at a 6 is very weird.
Yeah, and they've been doing it all season. It doesn't make any sense. Why would McAllister be your holding midfielder?
They Liverpool really showed their hand in the transfer window when they're about to throw over 100 at Caicedo before that fell through. They showed, here's luck in the wallet, and then it fell through, and they're like, well, we'll get you Endo then. That's all that we can afford. And it's like, I'd be upset. I mean, it's also funny to me, but I
was just thinking about McAllister. Matt, you guys missed out on that one too, huh? That could have been a decent number 8 for you guys.
Bro, we missed out on
Odegaard and McAllister in there behind a somewhat decent front line. That'd be all right. 35 million, I think he was, for a World Cup winner.
We just missed out on everything, man. I mean, just look at the goodies. I mean, we could have just went right down to the grocery store and just pick whatever we need off the shelf. And instead, we decided we were going to go for the Kai Havertz, world-class Kai Havertz and Jorginho. That was it. And like I told people over the summer, I said that those two signings are going to kill us going forward for the next few years. And we're paying this man mega £300,000. 300,000.
Matt just can't stop talking about this, can we?
That's De Bruyne money, brother.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You paying somebody like you know. Like, what I'm saying, you paying money like that, man. It's like you think Mbappe on payroll or something.
Nah, it is a mad. Big up to JT Iman coming in with the 5 gifted memberships for the chat. Let's see who don't have gone to Ian M, Adam Quinn, Alec Johnson, Jimmy Grimble, and Corkscrew. Big up to JTI. W's in the chat, guys. Thank you very much, JTI. Very generous, bro. Appreciate the support. And guys, make sure you are subscribed to the boys here. The links are in the description if you want to go check them out. Okay, so Jacob, Spurs, mate. What's going on, man? Why are you title contenders right now? Why are you up there in what are you now? Second, I think you are.
Mhm.
Second,
and,
game in
you go
hand.
top of the league tomorrow. What is happening? Are you feeling all right? Are you getting dizzy up there at the top of the league, man? What's happening at Spurs, bro?
I've been having to double up on my jackets because the wind's strongest at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? But I've been enjoying the view. I've been taking it in because I say this on my channel. Look, I am a human. I'm a yin and a yang when it comes to football. Half of me is realistic and logical. The other half is passionate, emotional, and sometimes I can be pretty biased, especially when it comes to Tottenham. But at no point have I ever said, yo, we're actually challenging for the title. Do I think it's possible? Yes, it's possible. It's also, there's a lot of things possible. I can go through a bunch of hyperbole if you want, but at the end of the day, nothing is impossible until it is. And there's a percentage of a chance. Now, people's opinions are going to vary on how much of a percentage of a chance that Spurs have to win the league. I would put it pretty low because, again, R11, that's great. That's fantastic. They're firing on all cylinders. We're enjoying the ride. But once you scratch just a little bit, you lift that living room rug up a little bit, you see, oh, maybe they're not as deep in the squad as we thought they were. Now, one test of that was, how do we look without Basuma? We passed that test. We didn't look good, but we passed that test because for me, there's going to be tests that we face under this new manager. 4 months into a project, you don't know what you look like under certain situations. I don't know. I didn't know what we look like down 2-0. Now I do. I didn't know what we look like when we go down a goal. I didn't know what we look like when we were up a goal, and how do we maintain that? And these are different instances throughout the season that my manager has come in and said, and answered it either one with the play on the field or with what he says in the press conferences. So when it comes to how I'm feeling about Tottenham Hotspur, am I lagging? Am I lagging or am I okay?
No, fine.
You good?
Okay, cool. I just think, hey, I'm enjoying the ride while it's happening. I'm not going to try and look too far ahead. I'm keeping my energy where it was in the summer. Now, I know when we first met each other and I told you I'm banging my chest when it comes to Arsenal. I'm banging my chest when it comes to Liverpool, United. When it comes to anybody right now, I'm banging my chest. But like realistically, that first loss is going to come. That second loss is going to happen eventually. And I know that. But what I want to see is when that does happen, how do we respond? What do we look like in the future coming back from that? Because those are the next tests we're going to have to face. I think, there's not been, to me, I was having this argument on Husam's channel earlier. They were trying to tell me it's luck. This and that is luck. It's not luck. That's applying pressure, and eventually the water will find its way out of the cracks. The weakest point in the infrastructure will be visible once you apply the pressure. So for me, in all these matches, I look at Liverpool be the first one. People say, oh, you were lucky to get that Liverpool result. Really? I'm not lucky because someone's incompetent at their job. I'm not lucky because Curtis Jones was acting reckless with a challenge. I'm not lucky because Diogo Jota couldn't stay on his feet. That's not luck. That's somebody making a mistake and we capitalize. They said we were lucky versus Fulham. 2 mistakes from Calvin Bassey. If you don't capitalize when your opponents make a mistake, then what are we in the game for? You know what I'm saying? How does anybody do anything if it ain't from a mistake, but from somebody on the opposition? So my point in saying that is I'm enjoying it. Long may it continue. However long it is, I don't know. Because like you said, we're second right now. It is up to us to go back and grab the top spot like it was last time. And we did it. We could do it. We should do it. When you look at where Chelsea's at, when you look at where we're at, we should. But with these matches, I think form kind of goes out the window. There's a lot of things outside of the 90 minutes that is leading up to this match. Pochettino, his first return to White Hart Lane since the sacking. And then he has all these quotes where a lot of Chelsea fans are like, I don't like the way my manager twerking for Tottenham. And I kind of liked it. It was kind of funny. But there's things in this match that is beyond. So I don't think that necessarily because we're top of the table and they're 13th right now, that's going to dictate how this game goes. Chelsea like to operate in a way that if you press high and you leave a lot of space in behind, they're going to try to attack that on the counter. And in 10 matches in the Premier League season, in this Ange Postecoglou system, we've done that at least once, twice, potentially 3 times in every single match. It's just a matter of, is Chelsea going to finish their dinner on the day? United didn't, Brentford did a little bit, Fulham didn't, Palace didn't, Luton didn't, Arsenal didn't. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be chances for them to capitalize on. It's up to them to take it. Now, we will create our own chances as well in the other half. That's how we score goals. It's not individual brilliance. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 was James Maddison being individually brilliant and turning Buhu Saka around for one of those goals. And then versus Luton, he kind of did the same thing to get us that result. So a little bit of individual brilliance, but for the most part, I would say our goals are worked through team buildup and all of us working together. Look at the second goal versus Palace. Sarr, switch of play. Brennan Johnson plays a nice 1-2 with James Maddison, and then Brennan Johnson ends up finding Son. Perfect spot. That's not the first time Son scores in that spot. Shout out Matt with Arsenal. Just saying. In the box, when he finds those positions, if we can create that goal, that's not Son being brilliant. That's just him getting in the right spot and the club and the squad working on the same hymn sheet and getting him that ball. So for me, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm getting a lot of what I asked for. I'm getting more than I asked for. I came with a bowl asking for some soup. They say, here's soup, here's bread, here's a drink, and we actually got you a nice comfy chair to relax in while you're at it too. So I'm just enjoying it. However long they want to pamper me, may it continue. I often use this analogy, and I'll end it there. A lot of Spurs fans are afraid to jump into the pool right now because they know what it's like. They end up being wet, their phone's in their pocket. They're a little bit afraid to do that. There's some Spurs fans like me. I've got about half my body and I'm ready to commit. I just need to see a little bit more. I need to see a little bit more till I know, yes, this is a swimming party. And then there's fans swimming laps in the pool already saying the title's on, we're winning it, the double's on, etc., etc. And I love it. I keep swimming, splash around. Maybe some of the drops will get on all the other people who are a little afraid of the pool right now. But my point in being is I'd rather enjoy where I'm at and what we're doing right now because quite frankly, last year was miserable for a lot of people around Tottenham Hotspur. And I just think that Ange Postecoglou has really done a number in 4 months. And it's something I look at and I compare it to his peers. And I say, what did they do in 4 years? What have they done in 2 years? What have they done in X amount of time? And it really just gives me a lot of hope for the future. Again, like I said, I wanted to see an ethos and a philosophy from the first team down to the U7s. I need them. So that way in 10 years, that U7, he's going to hit 17, 18. And guess what? Now we got a star boy on our hands who can play the system that we've been working. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see this, all of our players leave for another Marcus Edwards, Madueke, Markandé. I can keep going. But my point being is we're turning a page at Tottenham. I'm enjoying it while it lasts. Do I know it's going to last forever? No. But could it? Maybe. I don't know. Let's just see. But I'm not getting too ahead of myself. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, if you win tomorrow, Chelsea, that'd be 11 games, bro. Like, have you got like a target in mind of like when we play this many games, or is it more about you play City on the 3rd of December? Is it more about you can get a result there? Like, what point do you feel that you've got to start taking this seriously? Because all of us here think that Arsenal are not going to win the league. You know, I think we just had a conversation and said Liverpool are probably not quite strong enough. So, can Spurs challenge? And at what point do you think that you can get in the pool, bro? Because you're still on the side of the pool, isn't it? But I feel like
I got my feet in. I got my feet in. I'm enjoying the cool. It's cooling me down. I'm enjoying it.
When are you going to get in? We want to know when you're getting in, man.
I'm getting in January 31st when I see what my club does and I see where we're at in the table then. Because, again, we can say it's been...
Day after Brentford.
When it was 5-6 matches in, it's only 6 matches. It's only 7 matches. It's only 8, 9, 10. Tomorrow, if we do get the win, that'll be 11. And again, I use this with rival fans, I say eventually you're going to have to start talking to Tottenham nicely. Eventually, when you run out of things on your list as to how and why we got this win and what happened there, whenever you come to grips with that and you run out of things on your list, eventually you're just going to have to give us props. Now, I hope we can continue to do what we're doing, because this isn't the best version of Tottenham yet. This is an unclinical version of Tottenham. We've created a lot of chances that we do not put away, Crystal Palace excluded. So my point in saying that is we have so much better to get. While that I'm told, wait till Liverpool start clicking. Wait till Arsenal start clicking. Then we'll really see. Wait till Tottenham start clicking. Wait till we start getting clinical and we don't have Richarlison missing 2 sitters in the first 5 minutes of a match. That's what I'm waiting for. So January, if we're in and around this top spot, 6 points, I think, and we get some much needed depth at certain positions, because like I was trying to say earlier, 6 different positions for me. I think it's 6 or 7 positions. If there's an injury there, this is a completely different looking side, and I don't know who we have to come in and suffice. Sonny, Madison, Van de Ven, Romero, Ugodi. We'll have to see how we do without Udogie as well, because Emerson Royale looks like he's going to be starting at left back versus Chelsea, which that's, take it how you need it. But for me, when I'm going to get in the pool is January, when I see if the club genuinely backs this man to push for a title, or if we sit back and we say, well, we're up here, we don't really need to invest right now, because that's same old Spurs.
I'm with you.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Is Levy going to spend in January? There's no track record of him throwing money at the club. So
especially when we need it, because if we're in a position where he's comfortable with us finishing in and around where we're at, he's going to say, why would I need to invest? This is what he did with Pochettino. He does this, right? And I know this, but I'm saying my hope is he went in front of the world and he answered questions about his ineptitude. And a lot of people said that Daniel Levy's a narcissist and this and that, and he thinks everything he does turns to gold. Well, he got up in front of the world and said, no, it doesn't. And this is what I've gotten wrong. So my hope is that in January, he will do what's right. That's why I haven't gotten in the pool yet, because I feel like as soon as I jump in the pool, they're going to say, pool's closed, time to get out. And now I'm wet and I ain't got a towel. So
it feels like Levy's, I don't know, that seemed like damage control to me. Like it just seems like lip service. Like you can say what you want, but there's no actions that he's ever done, I feel like, that back that up. It's never been a case of we've got a good manager, we're pushing.
We have hired people in business suits and positions that I guess are made up by somebody, because we got Johan Lange and we got this guy Scott Munn, and Levy said, I'm putting more people in between me and the decisions that go into this first team and the academy. So my hope is that he's finally realized, and he also doesn't have any excuses. He doesn't have the excuse of the stadium. Oh, we can't invest in the squad because I'm paying for it. You don't have that excuse, my friend, anymore. You got to invest in the club. You got to, and Ange Postecoglou has said some things as well, that he's going to green light every decision we make. So at the end of the day, I trust Ange thus far. I have no reason to distrust him. He's given me no reason. So long may it continue. I'm loving it. But realistically, I know eventually things will change. But for the meantime, I'm having a great time. That's all I got to say.
I've got Matt.
I was going to just say, we're going to find out in January, because, Levy's money is so tight, he keeps it in a frame. So we're going to find out what the deal is with them.
The proof will be in the pudding on January. That's why my feet are in the pool, because I want to enjoy the pool. But like I said, it's just January 31st, where we're at in the table and what my club has done by then. I can say, you better hope we're not in a title contention, because I will be the most shameless person. People will unsubscribe because they're gonna get tired of me. They're gonna get tired of me smiling everywhere I go.
Any fears you do exactly what Arsenal did last season? You lead majority of the season.
Hell yeah.
And then something happens.
That could likely be what happens. And the thing is the whole time I was like, I don't believe it. It's not going to happen. They're never going to win the league over City. That's not going to happen. And eventually it was like, whew. Now, if we did that, that would be very impressive in our first year under a new manager, new philosophy, to go and challenge anybody for anything right now. I'm taking it. So if we do have that kind of a season, as much as I took the mick out of Arsenal fans last year, I think I'm going to enjoy it, because if I was an Arsenal fan last year, I would have enjoyed it too. But this year, I think it's a little bit different for Arsenal. Whereas for me, I've said, for me to judge Ange Postecoglou on how I think he's doing here, I'm going to need to see 4 windows. We've had 1. So I need 3 more windows of Ainge getting his players, instilling his philosophy, and everyone breathing his carbon dioxide or monoxide. I can't remember which one it is. But I need them breathing Ainge Postecoglou air.
Both are
The
bad.
more they do that, well, one of them is good for plants. I don't remember which
Don't
one.
carbon monoxide kill you, and if you breathe that,
Carbon monoxide does kill you.
We exhale one that's good for plants. That's what I know. What I need, the players at Spurs doing is being the plants, inhaling Ainge Postecoglou's breath and breathing and reading off of the same hymn sheet as him. That's what I need. I have to have it. So after 3 more windows, I think then I'll be like, yeah, let's see what we're doing here.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And carbon monoxide.
Unreal, man. Unreal. Yeah, no, listen, I'm with you. I think, let's see what happens at the end of the transfer window, because you got a tough couple of months, some difficult fixtures. You've then got the African Cup of Nations and the Asian Cup. Let's see what happens. The biggest mistake Arsenal made for me last year was the recruitment in January. In my opinion, wasn't strong enough. Let's see if Spurs, who knows, Spurs might be out of this title race by the time we even get to January. But if they're in it, from a neutral point of view, I would like them to go and spend 150 million pounds and properly go big for it, because that's what clubs should do when they're in a unique situation. Going to wrap it up there, guys. If you're still tuned in, make sure you do drop a like on the stream, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well if you are new. All the links are down below in the description. Matt, what you got coming up, bro, on your channel? And you do stuff with Lee as well, man.
Yep. So tomorrow I'll be with Tony Clark Gunner and Football Bants. We'll be talking tomorrow. Wednesday I'll be on with Lee Gunner doing the watch along. And then Thursday Jez will be over on the channel. And then I'm trying to get someone over on Friday. And we'll see how that goes. But we'll be rolling this week. So y'all make sure y'all go subscribe, Southern Gooner. Gentlemen, it's been a blast, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you all today, man. This was fun.
Likewise.
Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah, we'll try and make this a weekly. Obviously, the guys won't be able to join every Sunday. They got a live, but we'll try and get it as regularly as possible. Jacob, thanks for coming on, brother. What you got going on, man?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a quick last minute preview of Chelsea over on my channel right after this. Got a few people over there waiting for me right now, but that's no worries. They're a good bunch. But United Spurs of America, I go live about 5-6 times a week, so almost daily. I took a couple breaks this past week because I just turned 33 and I was enjoying my family. Yeah, great that it happened right around Chelsea, because that's when things were getting busy here. But regardless, I appreciate you having me on. It's been a blast, absolutely, sharing the screen with y'all and getting to meet some of y'all. And share, I always say this, and I'm gonna say it here too, because damn it, I say it everywhere, that we all love the same beautiful sport. We all fell in love with the same beautiful sport. And it's okay if your parents or you made some bad decisions in life and you support the wrong club. That doesn't make you a bad person. And I love you anyway for the human you are. So to everyone, even if you don't support Spurs, big up yourself right now. So thank you for having me, man.
No, thanks for coming, man. I've put a redirect on, guys. If you fancy some more football content, go and join Jacob after this. There is a redirect on. Joey McCune, man, my good fella, what's going on?
Noise Neighbors podcast drops every week. Sometimes we do YouTube stuff, we do live call-ins, we do live shows. Shout out LB for calling in from his bed the other day, which was a real,
just as you made it sound,
a real treat. Yeah, I don't know. Noisy Pod on Twitter, Noisy Pod on YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff. Yeah, it's mostly just the podcast. It's me and Mulv, an actual Mank, and we're just two idiots, but we're America's favorite city podcast, and that's all that matters. So thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. I've missed your face. It was a lot of fun getting to hear Matt absolutely pop off.
Yeah, that was great.
And to hear how Jacob's dealing with, being up here with the rest of us.
The air's nice. I'll tell you
what. It is.
It's
It's pretty cool, right? A lot of clean oxygen.
Not too much carbon monoxide.
Attaboy. There we go.
There we go. Bringing it back.
Nah, big up, man. Big up, Joey. Thank you very much to Lou, who has just become a YouTube member. Massively appreciate the support, Lou. Thanks for supporting me on the channel. And again to JTI, who gifted the 5 earlier on. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. If you're watching back on the replays, get your comments in down below. I always read all the comments. I'll respond to some as well. Let us know what you think. Who are City's main title rivals? Was Matt spitting facts earlier on, or you think it was too harsh? And are Spurs realistic title contenders? Guys, let me know in the comment section below. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Go over to Jacob's channel now. He's doing a preview for tomorrow's big game. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.